Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs, one and all of us, to yet another segment, another Luminary interview. And today I have the privilege of introducing you to Nancy Pickard. She is someone that is positioned as a whole life strategist, is the way I would probably call it. But zeroing in on an area that I'm going to have a lot of fun, I think, or we're going to have a lot of fun challenging you with, in terms of just where are you going? What's your purpose? Where's it all going for you? Nancy's a best-selling author. She has some deep personal experience. She enviably lives in Aspen, Colorado, where it's snowing currently, and enjoys the outdoors. She's a kindred spirit in that way. And so, Nancy, privilege and pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So let's start with a life experience that catapulted you into this realization about who you needed to, how you needed to think, and who you needed to become to reinvent yourself, that now has become basically a mission and a business for you. You, not unlike all of us, had some, kind of life was good and then it sucked and then you recovered. So you give us a little high-level summary of that little
That's
trail.
exactly what happened. Life was good. I was married for 26 years. I raised my kids. I owned a personal training gym, was very happy. The rug got pulled out. My ex-husband wanted a different life.
Something
He
else.
wanted somebody 23 years younger than me. I couldn't be that. So no matter what I could be, I couldn't be that. It took me a long time to get over that and to reinvent myself, and actually, more importantly, to rebuild my self-love and self-trust for myself. Because what many people do is we start to see ourselves, we become so other-referenced, and we start to see ourselves how other people see us.
Right.
So when he no longer wanted me, I no longer wanted me. And that's what I rebuilt. And then I was a personal trainer, but then I became a wellness coach, and then I became a Healing Your Heart and a life coach. And when I turned 60, I needed to do something that was going to really just make me know, you still got it, girl. And I decided to climb Kilimanjaro, which I did, and I rocked. And then I was going to write a book about climbing Kilimanjaro and how to do it in your older, in your 60s, and being a woman. And then I realized I'm a master life coach, and I wanted to write a book about what's your Kilimanjaro, what makes your heart sing? How can you incorporate and balance your life, your work life, and your personal life in a way that's going to satisfy you and not satisfy who you think you should be, who others want you to be, but to really get inside your heart and see what's going to make your soul dance.
That's just awesome. And so you created, and then your book, Bigger, Better, Braver.
Bigger, Better, Braver.
Yeah. And those things are all distinct, right? Aren't they?
Yes.
So you created essentially a framework out of your own journey that now you're able to share with others in sort of reinventing yourself.
Yeah. And my coaching process that I help other people work with anyway. So my book really is my journey and their journeys, and to be used as examples for my 10-step process on how to get out of autopilot and how to just listen to what your heart wants and get all the disempowering beliefs and commitments in your subconscious out in the open. So you stop sabotaging yourself and you stop playing small. So I help you live bigger, better by being braver.
There we go. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. It always impresses and inspires me when somebody has taken their own real life experience and turned it into a framework for serving others. So you're dead on there. Now, here's a situation. Most of our listeners, I'm going to be so bold as to say, either know it, or if they don't know it, it doesn't matter. a situation that they're in as a generalization, and that is, once you invest oneself into building a business, it necessarily requires that you throw your heart and soul into it, but it also unintentionally can begin to define how we see ourselves. And so many people that I work with, Nancy, come to me after their business has sort of hijacked their life and who they see themselves to be. What you just said about all the voices and the experiences that we have in life with other people and the things that we allow to shape us. Sometimes, if we're not careful, we will allow that to define us versus making a decision like you did. I'm going to be who I want to be. So let's take this classic entrepreneur, and I'm going to ask you here for maybe a few footholds or maybe a sketch of a path. Let's take the classic entrepreneur. They're well past halfway in their life. They've invested everything they have in their life, and they wake up and they realize, wow, my life is my business, and I want more than that. What would you say to kind of like shake loose from that, and give us some direction on how to like open up the possibility of really being on the other than it controlling us controlling it?
I'll give it my best shot.
Yeah.
So I think that people have to get out of autopilot to begin with, because you're on this hamster wheel and you're going and going and going. You don't feel your feelings anymore. You don't even know what your feelings are anymore. And you're just in the doing. You're no longer in the being. So that's the first step. And then you get quiet enough to really see what it is. What do you need? How do you balance your life? Because if you're only running from the fear, I've got to get this, I've got to do this, I've got to make this much money, what you're really doing is you're depleting yourself. You're just actually, how like when you get on a plane, you put on your mask first to get some oxygen. Well, if you so deplete yourself, you're not going to be good for anybody. You're not going to be good for your business, and you're not going to be good for your own life. So you have to recognize that, number one, life happens for us. It doesn't happen to us.
Yeah.
And that there are choices every single day that you are making. And you are 100% in charge of those choices. And every choice matters. So, I'll have people that say, I'm working my full-time job, but I really want to be a writer. I had a client today. There's a book out there I want to write. And I come home at the end of the day and I'm just too tired. And so it's like tiny baby steps, like little tiny steps. Figure out what it is you really want to do, and then schedule that time into your calendar. It's not enough to have a to-do list. Put those things in, I'm going to exercise from 8 to 9 in the morning, or 4 to 5 in the morning, or 4 to 5 in the afternoon. Like, just put it in. Put some me time. Put some downtime, but actually put it in your calendar so it's not going to just get lost in the shuffle of your day. And figure out, what are the small things that you can do that are going to give you some of yourself back. So
Got
you're
it.
not just.
So self-investment, making a decision. You're talking about two different things here. I'm picking up, Nancy. Very good. You're talking about deliberately making self-investment, scheduling time like it's important, as opposed to just putting it off, but also having a direction that's different than what it is that you may currently feel like is holding back or compromising in some way. Let's go to that part of it, the deciding on direction. So again, let's go back to I'm a business person. I've been investing in my business for years. It's kind of like, this is how I do life. I know it's not everything I can be or everything I want to, I'm not becoming, as you put it, who I want to be. I am stuck in the doing. What footholds do we need, or where do you start to what do you think about, if you can, like, yank yourself out of that and really think through it and start to think about the possibilities of something different? What does that process look like?
Well, I've had a lot of people come to me, they're CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, but they're just not happy.
Right.
So really what starts to happen is, if you're being honest with yourself, there's a little voice that's telling you it wants something different. I'm not happy. I'm not getting as much joy out of life. I'm not the person I used to be. You have to get honest with yourself. And when you start to hear that, then you need to get quiet enough. You might need to work with somebody else. Nobody gets to the Olympics without a coach, right?
Right.
So you might just need someone to help you ask the right questions so you can start to unwind what's not working, because you don't know what's not working, but something's not working. And often we have these beliefs from our childhood. I call them shadow beliefs. It's a Jungian term, but we're not aware of them. But they sound like this: I need to play small so I can stay safe. I'm unworthy. I'm broken. I'm not enough. My needs don't matter. My voice doesn't matter. We have these beliefs, and they were formed in our childhood. They were made to keep us safe, but as adults, they no longer keep us safe.
Right.
They keep us small. And until you actually uncover them, you can't get to where there's a discrepancy between where you are in your life and where you want to go, but that's going to keep you on the same hamster wheel until you uncover them, and you can say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not broken, or I don't need to play small, or I can be safe alone, or I can be safe not controlling everything. Like, you have to uncover those disempowering beliefs so that you can do the work you need to do.
Yeah, I love it, and you're dead on, Nancy. Let's just call it out. I think if the way I say it actually is, kicking ass is not a do-it-yourself project. If you want a new life, if you want a new emphasis, you want to feel new significance, a direction, whatever, you do need another voice. You need somebody that can ask good questions, as you said there. And I'm right on the same page with you. And all right, so let's take the person that says, okay, well, this sounds good, but you know what? I don't feel like I've lost myself in my business so much as, admittedly, I spend more time than I should. But I think what I'm doing in my business is basically the greater good, the contribution, or the difference I want to make in life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to that person?
Well, I would say congratulations, because doing what you're passionate about is fabulous. I'm doing what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
But I also schedule my day around my other passions. So if you want to schedule a call with me, it's going to be before 8 o'clock in the morning or after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, you don't know that between 9 and 1, I don't have other clients, but I don't. I'm hiking, biking, skiing. I'm doing the things that I love to do.
Yeah.
I schedule me, that's my time. And I'm happy to work early in the morning because I'm on somebody's time zone. I always work. Or up till 6 o'clock at night, or even 7 o'clock if I need to. But my time is my time. And that's how I balance my life. I think if I didn't do that, if I didn't know what the things were that were going to make me tick, I call them my non-negotiables.
Uh-huh.
You have to know what your own non-negotiables are. You have to know what your own boundaries are. And then you have to recognize that nobody can cross your boundaries but you. So like if you say, I'm not going to work those hours, and then you take somebody during those hours, well, guess what? You crossed your own boundary.
Right.
So
yeah, I love the non-negotiables. I think that's something to write down. What is the non-negotiable activities, amount of time, whatever you're doing or not doing? There's nothing wrong with having time in your day that you don't do anything on purpose, I believe.
Exactly.
But in any case, defining what those non-negotiables are and setting your own boundaries that are outside of the business, right? We're talking about that?
Well, you could have boundaries in your business too. There could be
Sure. Yeah,
things with
absolutely.
certain clients that stress you out, and then you realize that's a non-negotiable for me. Like, I can't have you calling me or texting me at 10 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
That's a non-negotiable. So you have to really get serious about what works, where your stress is coming from, what's stressing you. And then you set boundaries around it, because usually if you're stressed out, that's a signal that you're crossing your boundaries somewhere.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. And the undercurrent of anxiety and stress is very erosive
Yeah.
if not put in check. So you're dead on right there. All right. Well, one more question, Nancy, and then I want you to share with people how they can get more from you or more about you. So, like myself, you've been around the block in life. You've had, as you were transparently sharing there, had some hard moments in life where you made decisions. What would you say are the one or two things that have that fuel your I guess tenacity, endurance, strength? I mean, you're still out. You and I both. We were just sharing before we got on about climbing Kilimanjaro. That there's a lot of people that basically stop talking about things that they want to do in their future. Way too young.
Yeah.
But you're charging on. You're living life full. You love what you're doing. You love where you are. Your business is working. So, what are the one or two things that you might share that fuel you, that might give us some thought about how we can serve ourselves?
I think living my life in integrity with what I say I'm going to do is what fuels me. I walk my walk and I talk my talk.
Nice.
And so that's actually what I try to help my clients do. Stay in alignment with where you're going to go and what you say you want to do. Nothing brings you down faster than not living up to what you tell yourself you're going to do.
Yeah.
Whether it's a diet or getting in a relationship or getting out of a relationship or getting, what your business is, whatever it is, if you don't stay in alignment with what you tell yourself you're going to do, you feel pretty shitty about yourself.
Yeah.
And that brings you down immediately.
And you'll do more of the same, the same
over and over again.
Over and over.
So learning to love yourself and trust yourself by staying in alignment, I think brings you the most joy. And, you have to figure out what that is, but then you actually have to follow through with it.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love it. Well, Nancy, you clearly are a warrior in life, and someone that I think is worth paying attention to. Besides your book, of course, which we'll make sure people have access to. Is there anything else? Anything else that you'd recommend in terms of how we can get in touch with you, learn more about what you're doing and thinking?
Sure. Well, here's my book. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, very well. Bigger, better, braver.
Conquer your fears, embrace your courage, and transform your life. My website is nancypickardlifecoach.com, and all my coaching modules are on there. Signing up for my private Facebook group is on there. I do private one-on-one coaching, and I'm also launching my first live courses that will be 10-week Zooms. They're going to be in October. So anybody who follows my Facebook group or my Instagram or signs up on my website can be available for any of those things.
Okay, love it. Well, we'll make sure that we get those links posted. NancyPickard.com, link to your book.
LifeCoach.com.
LifeCoach.com. Thank you. And we'll see if we can, if what we've discussed today didn't give a little nudge in the right place for people that need some specific focus.
Yeah, get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah.
And get out of that work zone and find the way in the middle.
That's good. Love it. All right, Nancy. Well, this has been a pleasure. You've been wonderfully wonderful in sharing your story as well as your insights. So keep doing what you're doing. It's definitely something that I think is a needed voice. And folks, until we gather again, remember it's about implementation, assimilation, implementation, application, and off to entrepreneur excellence. So until next time, have an amazing day. Talk soon. Hey, thanks again for listening. Look, if you're interested and serious about applying the wise insights from luminaries like you just heard from, I want to invite you, challenge you, in fact, to check out the Entrepreneur Excellence Alliance. Just go to entrepreneurexcellence.com. You'll see a very inspiring video that we put together that outlines our manifesto, and then a button will link you right on over to all the assets, the resources, the tools that we've compiled. You see, the Alliance is a team, a tribe, a community of entrepreneurs just like you that are striving to truly attain excellence, their lifetime best in every aspect of both business and life. Peer collaboration at its best, world-class coaching, abundant resources. You need to check it out, entrepreneurexcellence.com. And we'll see you over there.